My name is Klaus Abels. I'm a reader in linguistics in the linguistics department, and I work on syntax. That means I work on word order and the relation between words, word order, and meaning. So the big thing that interests linguists in general and me in particular is to find out what languages have in common and how that reflects on the mental makeup of humans. So language is something that humans have and other animals don't have. So we want to know, what is it that distinguishes humans from those other animals? What distinguishes us mentally from them? It's a very interesting question for cognitive science because we know that there are very elaborate representations and unlike in most other areas, so if you want to study the brain, pay attention to language because for language we have fairly clear ideas of what those representations must be. In other areas we have much better ideas of what the hardware is, as it were, the wetware, how the brain works, what the brain does. We have a little bit of that for language, but not so much, but we have a much clearer idea of sort of the higher levels, of the really abstract levels of representation, and that's the kind of thing that we study, and then we try to figure out how do languages vary and what do languages have in common. So one of the things that I've been looking at in my research, and where there are some results that I can summarize in a simple way, has to do with phenomena of ellipsis in language. So one of the things that you can do is you can be very explicit when you speak. You can say every single word of what you mean, or you can leave off large chunks. So for example, if I say to you, I just ate a wonderful meal, but I'm not going to tell you what. You're going to understand that as meaning, I'm not going to tell you what I ate. And I just left that off. But you had no trouble understanding it. How did you learn that? That's one of the questions. How do you come to that knowledge about something that's not even said, that's not even heard? And what is the representation of that thing that you don't hear? A related question to that is, does everybody have the same representation of that? Does everybody understand it the same way? How about other languages? Can they do the same thing that English can do? And are they going to represent it the same way? And linguists have looked at this question for about 50 years and have come up with a very colorful array of different theories. One theory you might have, the most simple one, is there is really no representation there when you say, I'm not going to tell you what. What is all that remains of that question. And you just fill it in from context. Another theory you might have is you just fill in the actual structure and you don't speak it. Like, I'm not going to tell you what, mumble mumble, I ate. And since I'm not saying anything, you can't know. But you learn this language, children learn this language. Which way do they opt for? Do they think there's nothing there? Do they think there's a full sentential structure there? Do they have some other version? People have tried to figure this out for the last 50 years. I think, and I've looked at this for a couple of years now, and I think we're getting closer to an answer, and the answer is a bit more complicated, but it's surprising because it seems to be the same answer for every speaker and the same answer for every language. And to me that means that we're, as it were, pre-wired for that solution. There are so many logically possible and very plausible options, the ones that linguists have pursued. One of them seems to be right, and it's not one of the very obvious ones, but it seems to be the right one. It seems to be the one that languages choose. And so I'm very excited about this, because to me that tells me something about how the brain, how the mind must process language, because there's no way you could learn from input what the structure of that stuff is that you don't even hear.